and interventions does. On the invitation of the Assam government, discussion Bhavan, Shillong. Upon arrival, Swami was welcomed with a traditional dance performance showcasing the rich cultural heritage of Meghalaya. Later in the evening, he met Dr. C. Srinivas, first shared insights. Sadhguru traveled to the plains of the Ganges, blessing Mrs. Gavaskar's sisters and the family. Prayaagraj. He participated in the confluence of the three rivers, Ganga, Yamuna, and Saraswati. We'd also like to share with the UP government the celebration at and banking. So, people. Former banker, he spoke at the managing director of the Manipal Group. In the evening, he met senior functionaries of
Adi Shankaracharya, in the praise of Mother Annapurna, says, Annapurne Sadapurne Shankara Pranavallabhe Jnana Vairagya Siddhyartham Bhiksham Dehi Me Parvati. Isha, this alms of your grace. O the one who fulfills all the desires, including the desire for food, which is the basic desire with which we survive. You, the beloved of Lord Shiva, because she gave alms to Shiva himself when he came as a mendicant asking for food. To you I pray that may you fulfill all the desires from the basic anna, that is food, to jnana and vairagya. Jnana is wisdom of the self, and vairagya is the detachment that is needed to attain this wisdom. May you bless me thus, praise Adi Shankaracharya. Sri Satya Sai Annapurna Trust, that began in a small way around 2015. Before that, it was operating unofficially and doing a lot of work. This grew into the perhaps world's largest morning nutrition program by any private trust within the span of 10 years since then. And this year, it has breached many boundaries and has spread to the northeastern side of the country, which is generally a very difficult area, far to go, and a Karnataka-based trust going all the way up there to serve the children just like our children in Karnataka or anywhere is a new milestone. And it was received with such warmth and welcome by the Honorable Chief Minister of the Assam state, who, as Anand mentioned, took only 1 minute to understand what it was and immediately said, it's a 50-50 model. 50% comes from the governments and 50% we have to provide, whatever the costs are. So for those 35-40 lakhs children in Assam state, the entire project was approved then and there. And the beauty is that Anand says he was praying to Mother Kamakya, and whoever the Poshan Abhiyan official says he was also praying to Mother Kamakya, because Kamakya is Parvati. Parvati is Annapurna, and she has to bless for anything to happen. What is even more interesting is, the previous day before going to Assam, I was in Delhi. I was sitting there in my room, and after my, as I last time mentioned, after my morning bath, I take a few minutes to sit down and talk to myself, or whichever way, contemplate, meditate, pray. Simply sit by your side. And that time when I was sitting, and I would listen to a Stotram called Kanakadhara Stotram, because Swami had told me to listen to Kanakadhara Stotram. Kanakadhara means a shower of gold, a rain of gold, which again is the composition of Adi Shankaracharya, who composed it because he saw the plight of a very, very poor woman at Kaladi, who had nothing to give in alms. So he went begging for alms as vatus, as the brahmacharis of the Gurukula, which is their daily routine. So he went about and he saw on one side there was a rich man giving away brahmacharis, but with lot of pomp and show. And on the other side there was a desolate, dilapidated hut that nobody went. But Sri Adi Shankaracharya, as a boy of 7 or 8, went there begging for alms. And when he begged, there is a lady which came out, and she had nothing. She put her hand into a small basket or a pot, as it must have been hanging from the roof of the hut. And when she put her hand, all she found was a dry amla. Amla is gooseberry. And then she said, this is all I have nothing else to give you, I'm so sad. And she shed tears of remorse that she could not feed the brahmachari any better. When she put that, Shankaracharya's heart melted with compassion. looking at the plight of this woman who had nothing to eat except a dry gooseberry, and that also she gives it to this brahmachari, the Vatu, who comes for begging his daily meal. And he prays, spontaneously it is said, he burst into this composition of Kanakadhara Stotram, with the praise of Mother Goddess Lakshmi, and immediately there was a shower of gold, there's a rain of gold amalakas falling into the hut, is what is said. Mythology aside, the compassion of Shankaracharya's heart is the reason why that shower of gold happened in that poor lady's hut. And of course, poor lady's sacrifice. So I listened to this Kanakadhara Stotram because that's a part of my daily ritual. And as I was listening, in the Delhi hotel room, I was sitting on one sofa, and there was another sofa which was empty. And I see my mind's eye, the Mother Goddess comes there. And the whole scene changes into a dark Garbhagudi, where the goddess is sitting with her typical posture with one leg up and one leg down. And she's holding also a sugar cane. So I asked, who are you? And she said, I am Kamakshi. I am the Kamakshi of, which I know Kamakshi is the mother goddess of Kanchipuram. We have 3 mother goddess temples, Kashi Vishalakshi, Madurai Meenakshi, and Kanchi Kamakshi. She said, I am Kamakshi. I am this form of mother goddess. And I was surprised because I never expected any prayer. I never prayed or sought any guidance. It was just a daily ritual. And then I was very happy. I asked that you have graced with your presence and blessed. Any particular reason? That she said, whatever you think of will be fulfilled, she said. That's all, one sentence. Whatever you think of will be done. I had not thought of anything except this Assam project, saying that now we are going to Assam. Can we reach out to all the 35-40 lakhs children in the whole state? Why give only to 4-5 lakh? Can we give it to all the children of the state? If only the state government makes up its mind and supports us with partial funding, we can do the rest. We will go around, raise the rest of the support and get it done. It's a big project, 110 crores. How much is Anand? Project cost is? 100? Project cost. Allah, for total project cost, budget. 40 lakh. 140 crores is the project cost for the 40 lakhs children. And it's not easy number to do for a big state. We are doing Karnataka, Telangana and doing our own thing. But immediately she had said that, and the next day when I went to Kamakya temple, Kamakya is Kamakshi. Kamakya is northern way of saying, and southern way is, or Sanskrit word is Kamakshi. So she's the one. So you see the entire thing is orchestrated by the divine. Divine wants to do good to the people, but divine needs instruments. Without instruments, divine cannot do. Arjuna had to fight the battle. Krishna could not fight the battle. If he wanted, he could have just willed and everybody would have died on the opposite side. He had that power. But he did not engage in the battle. The battle of Dharma has to be fought by the instruments, by the divine instruments, not the divine himself. And this is what is happening in our mission. All are divine instruments. And God is the one who is designing the entire thing and facilitating it. This project, long back I had told Anand, we were in a small room in Bangalore. I used to stay that time in Bangalore. And one small room, and we had a prayer room, altar, a chair for Bhagwan, and Anand would come. That's when this got initiated with just 50 children. Why don't we feed children who are hungry, who are not eating anything in the morning? And he started, and he would go 20 kilometers one way. From his home, he'll go to the village in the morning to serve the children. Then he'll go to his office on the other side of the town, and again come back all the way back home in the evenings. Every morning he would do that before going to the office. And this he did for several months. Then slowly others joined, Sai Prasad joined, then Jay Prakash, then Dr. Narayan Murthy. Like that one by one, Kusumji joined. Then Prabhakar joined. Then our Dr. Sampath was the chairman for some time. Later, Satya joined. Then I came in now because Dr. Sampath is not keeping too well. But this slowly people joined. And I see all those people who came just now, and I remember how each of them had come and joined this trust, this mission, slowly, steadily started growing. But everybody had to be a good instrument. They had to take that leap of faith. They all are people who are earning good salaries, settled well in corporates in Bangalore, educated abroad also. But they all gave up their careers midway in their lives, taking all the risk that comes with it, convincing their families, their in-laws, their parents, their spouses, all the people associated with them, including the officers, resigned and joined this mission when there was nothing over here. We were not even sure whether we can even pay anything to anybody. But the faith in all of them is the reason why this mission is growing leaps and bounds. Every year it goes to the next big stage. It's because of tremendous sincerity, dedication, commitment, hard work, loyalty, obedience, and above all, tremendous faith that this is good work, and when we do good, nothing will go wrong with us and our families. That's how each one of them have joined this mission. It is one of the most wonderful initiatives. Everybody appreciates that now. Initially, nobody understood, but today, anybody who listens or hears about this project, they say it's a wonderful idea, wonderful intervention. Even at Karnataka Bank Limited, I was talking to the board members, the chairman and others, and I mentioned about this Annapurna project. They said it is a fantastic intervention. We as a bank also, in whatever way, through agri financing to the farmers who produce this crop, we will also try to participate and do what we can as a bank. So this project is growing and growing and growing. It's only because of the grace of Mother Annapurna, who has, as a mother, whose heart breaks when she sees her children hungry, especially the most vulnerable rural young boys and girls who don't get enough to eat. For many of them, this would be the only meal till the midday meal arrives, if there is a midday meal program. If there is no midday meal program, then there is no meal till evening. When they go home, the parents, after the day's labor, whatever they have earned, they will buy some rice and dal or whatever. That is what they will cook and feed them in the night. And then again, they'll have to wait till next morning for the Annapurna meal. And this is what is Annapurna doing every day. Imagine feeding one child at home itself is difficult. More than 1 crore children reaching the ragi which is produced in Karnataka and the jaggery that comes from Maharashtra, putting it all together, the logistics of it, cleaning, processing, fortifying, packaging in our factories, then sending it across the country to 150,000 schools through so many channels. It is not an ordinary task at all. It looks simple, extremely, extremely demanding. And can you believe the whole of the Annapurna Trust, and I asked Anand, how many are employees? Only 40 employees are there. All the rest are volunteers. 40 employees running 1 crore plus morning nutrition program across 150,000 schools. Can there be a better model of corporate efficiency and governance? And perfect, every child gets it in the morning. Nobody misses it. That kind of, and dealing with hundreds and hundreds of cooks in the schools, dealing with thousands of teachers and volunteers in the villages, so many of our devotees, followers who also participate in this, and then raising the support from so many corporates and devotees from around the world. It has been a Herculean task. Finance-wise, it may not be as intense as a medical school or a big hospital, but effort-wise, the logistics, the work-wise, it is extremely intense. And still they're able to do it so efficiently. What can I say? It is a divine will, but so well executed by such beautiful human beings, from the trustees to the last feet on street, our volunteer of Annapurna Trust. Everybody does a tremendous job every day so that the child is not hungry when he goes to the school. This is the mission, and the goal is very clear. Let no child go to school hungry ever. Not for 1 day, 3 days, 5 days. That is why when Karnataka government, we started with 3 days because we had no support. Now it has become 5 days a week and all days of the year except the holidays. So this is how it is growing and spreading. But this is not done. I have to tell the team Annapurna that our estimate is that there are at least 8 crore children in the country who go to school on an empty stomach. We have only reached 1 crore something of the numbers. Now with Assam, 1.5 crores maybe. But long way to go. And we need the support of the devotees, the followers, the mission, the patrons of this mission, the corporates through their social responsibility, the governments under their various schemes for child nutrition and welfare, and various other bodies from abroad who are also engaged in upliftment of the health of children and nutrition together. Annapurna is becoming one such entity which is bringing all of them together under one roof and making them all work together. And that is a great strength. It's because of the sincerity of the people in Annapurna. It's extremely sincere people. Despite having all of the commitments, they have always prioritized the health and the welfare of the child, somebody's child somewhere. For your child, you will definitely be struggling and you will definitely work. But somebody's child whom you never see, never know, for their sake, working every day, every night is extremely exemplary. Nobody does this other than these children, these youngsters, these trustees. Tomorrow we have a meeting with all India Annapurna volunteers in the morning, but I won't be able to tell all these things tomorrow evening because there is no satsang. So I have to tell today. And I'm so glad that they all could come and they participated. It is a wonderful project, and with this year, this has jumped, I don't know how many folds. It is 5 folds, it will jump. With Tripura and Meghalaya coming in slowly, then Assam. It will go from 1 crore children to 2 crore children within this year with these partnerships. You can imagine, per day, per child, the cost of feeding is 3 rupees per child for that 250 ml ragi malt or chocolate malt or something. The average cost is 3 rupees. 3 rupees for 2 crore children every day of the year. You can imagine the size of the program. And this is only possible if everybody participates. Just one trust team cannot do. Jokes apart, one day I was sitting and I was thinking that together in this mission, every minute we spend 5,000 rupees every minute. So you can imagine the size of the program, and this all started with nothing. I remember the day Anand came to home because he was self-funding the first 50 children and with his friends and things like that. One day he came home and he was very worried. As what happened? He said, we don't have funds for the next days of meals and things like that for just 50 children. From that day, look at the grace of God and the divine will and Bhagwan's continuous guidance and all the efforts of everybody. It has grown to such a large program, and I'm sure this will spread to the whole world. This has just started in India, but it will spread to the whole world. To the team, I also want to tell, we have a Sai-Shore factory here. Now it would be exhausting its capacities with this. We will set up another Sai-Shore factory up north somewhere this year so that it's easy for us to transport the material, the ingredients, and collect it from the farmers, process it, and distribute it in the north. That will also come up in the course of this year. But there are people who never said no to me. If I give them more work, they always say that, yes, Swami, and then they'll figure it out how it can be done. And only if they're absolutely unable to execute it, they're stuck somewhere, they'll come. They don't even disturb me. Mind you, there are people who bother me with silly, petty things every day, over and over and over again. And these are the trustees and the volunteers who works on such an immense project, huge project. Imagine a child goes to school and with the expectation, I'm going to get my ragi malt today, and suddenly you are told today it is not going to be given because it's not reached today, or there are logistics issues, or funds got over, or it was not sent by Annapurna Trust, whatever. What will happen to the child's moral in the morning? How does he feel? You come to the dining hall, let's say in the morning, and suddenly you come with the plate and your tumbler and spoon with like expectation, I'm going to have a nice big meal after my games and sports, and suddenly you see there is no food in the dining hall. They say there is no breakfast available today because breakfast has not been made for anybody. You go to school on an empty stomach. How would we feel? So I want to ensure, when we started, I told Anand, whatever we have started, we will never withdraw. If we have committed to 100 children, all 100 should continuously get. There should not be a day in our vision where suddenly, for whatever reason, we have withdrawn and made those children go hungry. That would be a sin, because we raised that expectation and now crashed them. They come to school with this expectation, and we have to fulfill that every day. So whatever numbers we take up, they have to be sustainably maintained and served all through till they grow up and go out of the school. Of course, the next batches and the next batches. So this is a wonderful program that will keep growing and growing, because grace of mother is there. A mother cannot be happy when the child is hungry. So this is a basic. And I tell, what kind of world we live in? Millions and billionaires are getting ready every day. A billionaire is added to the world's wealthy. And here are millions and hundreds of millions of children who go hungry to the school. What kind of world have we created? What kind of humanity it is? What kind of society it is? What kind of principles are we following? What governance and what world order it is? It has to change. It can't be this way. You can't have a world where on every other day there is a filthy billionaire getting ready, and on the other side hundreds of millions of children go hungry to the school. Food is basic. If a country and a society cannot provide food to the most vulnerable sections of the society, which is the children, what kind of country, what economic progress, what developed economy? It's all a joke and fake to me. Unless this is done, nothing is done in the country. According to me, if every child is not having food and not able to go to school, not able to access health care, that country is not worth all the development. The development is, the measure of one's country's development is how the weakest and the poorest are living in that country. Rich and the big and the mighty growing leaps and bounds, every year in their wealth, that's not the measure of a country's progress. How the weakest people are treated, how are they able to live and survive, how the country is ensuring that, that is the measure of the progress and development of a country. I think Annapurna is doing that for the country. So many things will happen, many wonderful things will happen. This is just the beginning of a great global revolution, a movement in protecting the poorest and the weakest. And a day will come when these institutions will be the best institution, the biggest institutions, with the support of everyone who will make that difference in the world. And what the world has not seen, we have heard about Ramarajya, Golden Age, Satyuga, where everybody had things to eat and everybody had everything that is needed to survive and live and thrive. Those days, if have to come back, these kind of institutions have to come up. Today, Annapurna is also foraying into other countries, Sri Lanka, even Africa. In Africa also I've seen, it was so sad, I saw the video of one place called Malawi. Those children come with their plastic bowls and whatever tumblers and things like that for food. Now we are supporting that one school to begin with, where they produce the local thing, something like cassava, which they grow locally, a starchy substance. That is being supported by us, but I have told that we should set up a system for Africa as well, where we can procure local food ingredients, whatever they eat. They may not eat ragi, they may eat something else which is locally grown. We should procure that from local farmers, create employment and some kind of income for them, process it locally, fortify it, and distribute it to local African countries. That way we will be able to help a lot of children who are simply going hungry, and they are all going to be so angry when they grow up, when they will think that this is a world we live in where so many billionaires are burning all the money on lavish lifestyles and all kind of unnecessary things, and at the same time we are here starving every day to school. That cannot be the world that we want to live in. If it has to change, the change has to begin here. And this is applied to every field of work. Healthcare is also like that. And the amount of corruption in healthcare is unbearable. I was in Delhi again. I met a liver transplant surgeon. He's a very renowned surgeon. He was trained in the UK, did a lot of work in the UK, and then shifted to India for the sake of old parents. And during 1 hour long conversation, because we must learn as much as possible. So I was trying to learn about liver transplants and what happens and things like that. Now he works in a charitable hospital. Earlier he was in a corporate hospital. The things that he told me that shook the soul out of my body. Such horrendous commercialization of healthcare which does not care. A dysfunctional donated liver is also being fixed in another receiver at 50-60 lakh rupees of cost, where the doctor knows fully well that this liver is anyway damaged, it won't function in the body of the recipient of the liver. Yet the management would say, you shut your mouth, just fix the liver, you go home, you take your money, rest we will handle. And then what happens? The poor donor, poor receiver of the liver, when he goes home, he is not able to recover because naturally that liver is not good at all. One story he told me, this is just to open the eyes of our medical students and doctors and everybody who is working over here. You know what? He told me there was one lady who passed away, her liver was donated. There was one more man who had to receive the liver. So this man was called to do the surgery in another town. He went there to the hospital, it's a corporate hospital. And then he looked at the status of the liver of that 58-year-old lady who had passed away. And he said, this liver is not functioning any which ways. This is not in good shape. Even if we put it and transplant it to the new body, it won't be useful. And then he looked at the body, new body. That man had so many multiple morbidities and comorbidities and already so many infections in the body. He said, with this liver is not going to work. Man also is going to die with infection. Let us not put it. The management told, just shut your mouth and do your job for what you're paid. The man has already deposited 40 lakh rupees as charges towards this transplant. Just keep quiet and do this surgery. This doctor had some morals. He said, I'm not going to do it. I will not, refuse to do. And he refused and came back. But a few days later, he got a call from a person from his village who said that we went to the same hospital where he had refused the surgery, and that man's wife or somebody got operated for liver transplant there. And then he called up the hospital, and that lady did not recover well. And another 30 lakhs they have spent after the 40 lakhs of transplant to save that lady. For too much of plasma they're putting, everything they're doing. And they called up this friend saying that, you are a liver surgeon, please guide us what to do, my wife is in bad shape. He said, which hospital? He said, this hospital. Then this man got worried. Which doctor? He said, that head of that hospital, who is also a transplant surgeon. Then he called up that surgeon, did you put that bad liver in this lady's body? And that is what they had done, because that operation went for a toss because he refused. They kept the liver, put it in some other gullible patient's body, and this lady died any which ways eventually, after they had sucked all the money from the family. This is the kind of, and he said it's not just in India, it's everywhere. You think some other countries are better? No. He said, I was in the Europe doing this. People would come from Middle East. This is what we'll do. All dysfunctional livers, they will put it into the bodies of these rich people who will come to save themselves for the money that they give. Nobody cared. There's no conscience. There's no soul. There is no humanity left in medicine. That is what he was telling. That's why he shifted to a charitable hospital and said. And he also told me another thing. He said, once there was a lady who had to be operated for some tumor on her kidney or something like that. When they looked at it, they said, no, this is inoperable. This is too much. Cancer has spread. Even if we do the surgery, it's not going to save her. It's a waste of money and cost. Let us not do. So his surgeon boss also said, yes, it is not a case worth doing. But then this man mentioned that, no, just to tell you that this lady is the CEO of such and such company and she is covered by private insurance. Immediately the senior surgeon said, then let's do the operation. Because anyway, insurance will pay for it. Why should we bother? He said, but this is not operable. He said, let us give it a try. Anyway, we will get the funding. They tried, killed the lady. And in a few days she died, not immediately, because she bled so much on the operation table. She would have anyway died 6 months later, but she died 3 months earlier. And of course, the hospital got the money from the insurance company. He said, these are the things which I heard directly from somebody who felt so horrible about this way things are working in the society. And he was telling, I do not know how to thank you for what you are doing, building hospitals with such purity, no charges, and treating everybody, the poorest and the richest, the same. Corruption. This is unheard of, because for these people, these hospitals are unimaginable, unbelievable, unreal, because they haven't seen something like this. And I am hoping that tomorrow when these doctors, nurses, paramedics grow in these hospitals, learn, they will be good doctors with conscience. They will do what is right, and not for the sake of money they will deviate from this path of dharma. Because last thing that we want in our life is a death which is full of regrets. Today everything might look okay, you can kill your conscience and live as you please. But when the last moments arrive, when you have to face death, the biggest pain that one goes with is the pain of regrets. Kim sadhuna karvam, kim papam akarvam iti. Why did I not do the right things? Why did I do the wrong things? This kills them. This is the most painful experience at the moments of passing away. So don't get into that. Save yourself that. Like that, throughout the travel, I have met so many people, learned so many things. But some things I wanted to highlight. Of course, Kumbh Mela, I went there on behalf of the institution. We prayed for the welfare of all, but it's very crowded. Just now somebody was telling they are going to Kumbh Mela. I was telling you have to be very careful. There are tens of kilometers of traffic jam come from anywhere. Come from MP side, come from UP side, come from Delhi side, Haryana side, whichever side you come. As it converges towards Prayagraj, it's extremely crowded. Trains are full. The whole place is so crowded with so many people. Even flights are delayed. We had to wait despite having arrived, means taken off early from Kanpur. We had to be in the air for so long before the flight landed in Prayagraj. And after landing, we had booked a helicopter to go to the site because there's no way you could go by the road. I was told for 4 hours, not an inch traffic was moving towards Prayagraj. So we had a helicopter, but the helicopter wouldn't take off because there are no slots for taking off and landing at the airport. It's so crowded. And we missed the helicopter, so we had to go by the road because there was no way. And you can imagine it took a whole day to just get inside the Prayagraj and come out. And fortunately, we could catch the flight in the night and reach Delhi in time. But it is very crowded. However, our team, medical team, which is working there, and as I mentioned, 40,000 patients they have treated, 400 heart attacks they have stabilized and sent them to bigger hospitals. They saved those lives. That is our medical team from here. In such difficult circumstances, they're working, and they're bringing a lot of water from Prayagraj. It's coming by train because I couldn't have carried in flight and gone to Mangalore and here, there, and brought here. So that's coming by train. It'll be here before Sunday. So I will definitely go around sprinkling that water on everybody who is there on Sunday for the satsang. But don't assume that just because water has fallen you, you'll get moksha. Don't be too sure about it. Because even if the water falls on you today and gets sprinkled, even if your sins for today till today have been washed away, tomorrow onwards you'll start again, isn't it? One more cycle. But Prayagraj Mahakumbh happens only once in 144 years. For the rest of years you are on your own. So idea is that these traditions have been created to take us closer to God, to remind us of God and greater purpose. What is this whole deep all about? It's about attaining moksha, right? So knowingly or unknowingly, everybody who is associated with these festivals and traditions, what are they seeking? They are seeking moksha. So this is the highest goal of Indian philosophy, moksha, liberation. No other tradition tells you that you can attain moksha here and now if you live a life of purity. And Ganga ji is about purity, Yamuna ji is about purity, Saraswati ji is about purity. The Sangam is about purity. The idea is that become pure and you will become liberated. And what is purity? In one word, purity is selflessness. The one who is selfless is pure. The one who is selfish is not pure. So like rivers that are selfless, they give their water for the sake of others. They don't mind even being contaminated and dirtied as long as they're able to serve. That kind of life, the one who lives, such a person is pure. And purity is divinity, which is liberation. So the idea of purity is the idea of Sangam, the idea of Prayaagraj Mahakumbha. That is the idea. We must celebrate deeper philosophy. Of course, water comes, that's a blessing. We believe in the traditions of Hinduism, of Sanatana Dharma. We honor those great traditions for whatever reason they have been created. More importantly, they remind us that we must lead a life of purity, of divinity, so that we all attain moksha, which is the ultimate goal of all human endeavors. So that will happen on Sunday. But those who are going to Prayagraj, I want them to exercise extreme caution. Crowds can be sometimes very overwhelming. And as I said, if a little confusion happens in the crowd, people don't know where to go, and then it's a whole lot of confusion and mess. So everybody should be safe and careful if they are going. But if you are not going, don't worry. The Sangam water itself is coming here. All will be sanctified. So don't take too much of trouble. This has been a long trip, but slowly the mission is growing. The more important thing is 100th birthday celebrations are coming. I want students to finish their syllabuses early, finish their exams early, be free. Devotees from around the world would arrive. We must take care of them as our guests, as our family members. Lot of newcomers will be there who would be coming to participate in all the spiritual activities. So we have a lot of work to do together. But now, after having seen the way our teams have managed the cricket match this time, everything was totally managed by the in-house team. We did not have to take help of any professional agencies. All the activities were coordinated and managed by young boys and girls of college, university, and of course the team from Sanatan Vani, publications, guest media. So I am very confident that they can manage the 100 days also. With the little help, they can manage. But more importantly, this is an important occasion and everybody should prepare themselves for it. Simply walking, and even Ganga is, you just can't go and take a dip and you won't get pure. Fishes are swimming in Ganges all the time. They don't get liberation, right? Likewise, simply going and taking a dip doesn't make, you have to prepare yourself to receive that blessing. That preparation, even for participating in that 100-day celebration, you must prepare yourself mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Start purifying your mind, your thoughts, your words, your actions, so that you enjoy that time. Otherwise, it is like the fishes swimming in the Ganges. We also are in the Ganges, this great Ganges of this mission that we are a part of, that sanctifies us, purifies us. But if we are not prepared internally to receive this, we won't enjoy this mission. We will think it's a burden, it's an effort, it's a tension, it's pressure. All these ideas come because we are not ready. But when we surrender ourselves to the divine, when we are pure in our hearts and our intention is selfless, to serve everybody without any conditions, that's when we are ready to enjoy this mission. This Annapurna team does not come and complain, Swamiji, this is enough, please don't add another state, please don't add another set of schools. They never said that to me. They always were happy that if Swami has thought about it, I'm sure he has found a way to do it. And even if there's nothing is happening in the beginning, they haven't come and complain. They never bother me because they already know how much is going through my mind. So they always are very careful in coming and telling me. If there is a positive news, they definitely report. But if there is an obstacle and challenge, they keep trying till they get through it. And only then they inform me. But they are a wonderful team, especially the trustees. They are very amazing. They all work so hard. And Anand being the first of the team who came, and his wife Radhika, she was also there in all these trips. They have been such dedicated people. I met Anand in the year 2009. 2009. That time we were preparing for a play, a drama by the Karnataka youth at Puttaparthi. So I had written the script and I was directing the drama. And that evening we would practice in one of the samitis. So he would come. He came there. He found out from somebody that something like this happening. He couldn't stay away. He said, I want to help in some way. I said, we are already full. Our team is set. Where will I accommodate you? He said, no, I don't want any performance. I don't want to be on the stage. Give me any work. I will assist you. And I really needed an assistant to coordinate the entire thing. Because all the actors were professionals who had jobs to do. And they will only come in the evening to practice. So Anand started coordinating that. That's how he came. And slowly from there, he became a right hand to me. He helped in so many ways. He has been more than a devotee. He is like a friend to me, a sakha. And that is how I am very comfortable telling him whatever I want. Not everybody is a friend to me. Remember that. It's a very privileged thing. Because Bhakti Marga is there, no? Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam. He's not a dasyam, he's not a servant, he's not a missionary. Yes, he is doing all that is needed for him to do as a missionary, as a trustee, as a servant of the society. But he is more than that to me. He is a sakha, he is a friend to me. I am a friend to him. I have no hesitation in telling him to do things or not to do things, both ways. I have no hesitation in telling him, or his wife also for that matter. Like that, all of them are so devoted, so good. That is why this mission is growing. Otherwise, one person or one small team cannot do it. So many thousands are participating. Tomorrow, many of those people are coming. I will meet them in the morning before lunch and here in Premamritam. To all of you, huh? Yakadama? Deep, oh, Prem Deep. I will meet them in Prem Deep. I have too many functions now. I'm losing the track of things. So, I'm very happy about whatever has happened with Annapurna. I wanted to go to every nook and corner of the country till the last child also gets morning meal before he or she goes to school. We will not stop our work in Annapurna. That is our pledge. I will talk more about the trip and what else we learned. What are the other things that the country needs? What are the requests from so many other groups and agencies? Another satsang, maybe on Sunday I'll talk more about it. Already it's quite late. But as I said, be always mindful of this great, wonderful opportunity that has come our way. It is not a pressure, it is pleasure only. When we do good to others, good comes back to us. When we give joy to others, joy multiplies within us. And that is our motivation, to be able to do good to all, to bring joy, succor and solace, especially to the downtrodden, marginalized, the weak and the poor. That is our mission. Everybody should take it to their heart and remember that you have a role to play. May not be today, right now, but one day when you grow up, you will be able to contribute. Be ready for such a day. It's an honor to be a part of this mission and to be a part of this great revolution of nutrition, education, healthcare happening everywhere. When I come on Sunday, I'll talk about our healthcare, education and all other things that are happening around the world. For now, this is enough. Many blessings to everyone.